Hi guys, it's Daniela again and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. So for today's video, I'm going to bring you a tutorial. I am going to show you how I wear foundation in the summer with oily skin for 12 hours and plus without it looking crusty, cakey, fading, oily. I literally wore this base from 1 in the afternoon to 1 in the morning and it was on all night, all day, did not budge at all, and it looked flawless. So I thought I would show you guys how to wear your makeup for 12 hours plus without it looking like a hot mess. So I really hope you learned something from this video, and if you don't, I hope you've just enjoyed having me on your screen for a little bit. And yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so my first step is primer. So this is the PS Prep and Perfect Hydrating Primer. So I've already put this on my skin and I put it on about an hour ago, so it's definitely sunken in, so it's not sitting on top of my skin at all. I do this step way before I'm putting on my foundation just so it has got time to settle in and it's not going to move around my foundation. So I have already used this, but you can use any like hydrating primer that you have or whatever primers that you like that works with your base. And now I'm going to go in with the MUA Wonder Vanishing Cream Primer. This is like a putty. This fills your pores in really nicely. I like putting this where my pores are the most like obvious, and then pause, no more. Okay, so now it's time for corrector. For my corrector today, I'm going to use the Becca corrector, which looks like this. I've been really enjoying this one, and I really do actually feel like it does brighten my under eye. I still prefer my Urban Decay one, but I still like this one. So I use this just because I have quite like dark under eyes. I'm going to put some around my mouth here as well because I have quite dark like areas here. And the reason I'm using my fingers is just because it's quicker, it melts into the skin more because of the heat of your fingers. Okay, so for foundation, I'm going to use the Maybelline Superstay 24 Hour Full Coverage Foundation. I've got the colour 10 Ivory. This foundation and a few other things I use on top of this is what made my foundation last for hours. UG foundations like fade on my skin, they go like weird around my nose, my chin. That's not your chin, that's your forehead. My forehead area and my chin area goes really weird, just starts fading, like you can see my actual skin. So this foundation has come to a rescue. So I actually really do like this foundation. Like I didn't not like it, but I just knew that it would be a foundation that I would like more in the summer. And please believe that's very true. I love this foundation in the summer. And you do not need a lot. So what I do is I start off using my hands by spreading it where I want it. Now I'm going to blend it out with a brush. So another thing that I actually learned was where I don't need foundation, I don't put that much. So like on my forehead, I don't need that much foundation, so I don't put that much foundation there. I try to avoid a lot of foundation in my smile lines because I do crease. So yeah, that's a trick that I learned. Well, it's not really a trick, but yeah, just put foundation where you actually need it, and like where you don't need it, put the tiniest bit. So I started off by using a brush just to move the foundation around. This foundation has got like super good coverage as well, so you won't really need like a lot. Okay, so that is my foundation. I'm not going to add any more. That's all I need. My skin has been pretty good lately. Hopefully I don't jinx myself, so I haven't needed a lot of foundation. When it comes to the summertime, I tend to not use a lot of cream contour or cream blush just because it does fade off my skin. And because it's more layers of like liquid, I feel like it just has more of a tendency to fade, to look weird. So I usually will go in with just powder stuff from now on, after concealer obviously, just so it can really like set it into my skin. Yes, you look a little bit more matte, but I would rather look matte at the beginning and look a bit more dewy as the time goes on, rather than starting off looking dewy and looking like a hot mess by the 10th 12 hours, because that's what's happened to me in the past. So I start off looking a little bit more matte than I usually like, but then as the day goes on I do get dewy, so my natural oils come out and it's usually quite fine. The next step obviously is concealer. So I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape concealer. This is the only concealer that I have found that has lasted me as long as it does, and it does not budge. Like it doesn't crease on me either. And then that's it. And then I blend it out with the same brush that I use for foundation, just like on my chin and stuff. So for concealer, as you can see, I'm letting it dry down a little bit. Auntie Jackie told us to let it dry a little bit, so that's what I'm doing. And I actually really do like this method of letting it dry. There's some concealers I can't do that with, like the e.l.f. concealer I can't do that with. It will like be hard to blend. But with the Tarte Shape Tape, I can let it dry a little bit more. For blending out my concealer, I'm going to go in with a brush. This is the Morphe E30 brush. I haven't touched the beauty blender because I will at the end. I don't want to touch a beauty blender yet. I want to do all my base using the brush, and then I'll go in with my beauty blender, because a beauty blender will bring in more moisture into your skin. And I've just found that when I do this technique without using a beauty blender straight away or blending out everything with a beauty blender, it just lasts a little bit longer. So now, my E30 brush in my hand, I'm going to blend out this concealer. As you can see, I'm not really bringing the concealer out too much. I just want it to stay where I really need the coverage. So what I kind of do is just tap it where it is already, and then diffuse the edges just by doing this little motion here. So that's one eye done. So now that I'm done blending it with a brush, I'm just going to go in with my fingers. I kind of go around just to make sure there's no harsh edges. It's all kind of sunken into my skin. So the next step now is obviously setting your base. So for setting powder, I'm going to use the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. These two products together will make your base last hours. And I also baked. Like, I never really bake, but with this powder, with this routine, I do like to bake a little bit. It does make a difference on my skin. Baking's not for everyone, but for me and the way I do it, it really does work on my skin. So for me, the most important products from this routine is the foundation, the setting powder, and the setting spray. To me, those three items are what is going to make or break your base. So now I've kind of let my foundation and my concealer kind of set itself. It's creased a little bit, so beauty blender. I'm going to blend out any creases. This is also going to pick up any excess product. So now I'm going to set my under eye. And that's what I'm putting on that eye. So I don't let a lot of powder sit on my skin. I kind of like really push it into my skin. Then I'm going to do the same on my forehead. That's a problem area for me. And then my nose. I look pretty matte in this section, but I'm not finished yet. So with a brush now, I'm going to pick up some setting powder and I'm going to place it in the sections that I know I crease. So this is my version of like baking. So now that I've done that, I'm going to let this sit on my skin for a while. So what I'm going to do now is bronze. So I'm going to use the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer and just bronze my skin. So now for blush, I'm going to go in with the Milani Baked Blusher in Luminoso. And I'm just going to add the tiniest bit on my cheeks. The reason why I like this blusher for this look is because the blusher has a little bit of like a sheen to it. So it gives some more dimension to my skin rather than it just being all matte. So now for highlighter, I'm going to go in with the Flower Beauty Contouring Palette. My bronzer broke on the weekend, so I can't use the bronzer anymore, which I'm actually quite sad about because I did end up really liking that bronzer. And I like all the products in this actual palette. So I'm going to take the highlight colour, put some on my nose. So for my cheeks, I'm going to take the same highlight, but I'm just going to go like that. And then I'm going to get my beauty blender and diffuse the shit out of it. So now we're going to dust this bake away. So this is my base so far. So what I'm going to do is go off camera, do my eyes, my lips, my brows and stuff. And then come back and show you how I finish off this whole look to make sure this foundation routine last. Hi guys, so I'm back. So as you can see, I've done the rest of my makeup. I did my eyes, my lips and my brows. I haven't actually done my mascara first because I do want to set my face before I do mascara. I do this just so there's no like chances of the mascara running or anything. So for setting spray, I use 2 setting sprays. The first one I go in with is the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. So I like drench my skin in setting spray. I do feel like that is one of the reasons why my foundation lasts so well. So setting spray. Then don't move your face and fan. Okay, so now that I've done that step, my skin looks a lot more skin-like and it feels less powdery, less like makeup-y. It feels like I have nothing on my face, and that is exactly what I want. So now for my last step, I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. This will make your makeup last, especially if you've got like a long-lasting foundation already on. This is going to make your foundation last. I know it's highly hyped and for good reason, to be honest. I absolutely love this. I feel like this is I think this is my 2nd or 3rd bottle, I'm not sure. And I always use this when I want like a super long lasting base. So what I usually do with this is go all over my face and then go at the bottom and in the center, just so it really hits the areas that I know I get oily. And another little trick, while your setting spray is drying, don't talk, don't move. Just stay as still as you possibly can, just so it's not setting into any possible creases that you're creating. I feel like just not talking makes more sense because obviously you're moving your face, you're setting your face when you're moving it. So obviously, therefore, you're setting creases or lines or anything like that. So I tend to not talk, move, anything. Just statue. So I'm going to go in again with another dose of the setting spray. But this time I'm doing it more to the bottom of my face. So now that I have completely set my skin, this is what my skin looks like now. So this, guys, is the final look. So obviously I added mascara and this is how I keep my makeup on for 12 hours plus. So this is the routine that I've been using all summer long and it's been really working well on my skin and it just lasts really well. So yeah guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, you know what to do and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.